Mr. Lane, you're really going to have to give me the code to that door.
And why, pray, should I do that?
Because the way the cops will see it, you're the prime suspect. We both know you're innocent, Mr. Lane, but the cops, well, they may not see things so simply. I might be able to get them off your case, but in exchange, I'd like the code for the office door.
But that's preposterous. The police would have neither evidence nor motive.
Funny you should mention that. Are these your nail clippers, Mr. Lane?
Yes, they have.
Huh. The perfect implement for cutting the alarm on the stolen painting.
What are you saying?
Well, the alarm was sabotaged, Mr. Lane. It was an inside job.
Are you accusing me? How dare you? I had no reason to kill Henri, no motive whatsoever.
Okay, but I don't think the cops will see it like that. And I sure would like that door code. Well, you got to admit, the cut wire doesn't look good for you.
As I said, this is a preposterous allegation.
How about some more of this?
I don't think so. As a sal volatile, it was acceptable. As a cologne, it would be barbaric.
An unusual painting turns up at your exhibition and gets stolen. Doesn't look good, does it?
And your point is?
The cops are going to ask some awkward questions. But you give me the code to the CCTV room, and I'll do my best to point them elsewhere.
I cannot let you into that room, Mr. Stobart. Besides, Henri found La Malédiction, not me. I had nothing to do with it.
This is an inside job for sure, Mr. Lane. The police are going to be very interested in your recent movements.
I've been out of town for several days, and last night I retired early.
Just saying.
You're not going to scare me into giving you that door code, you know.
I was onto something here, and I knew it. Lane was sweating. How about it, Mr.
Certainly not.
Guilty by...
I've been away from Paris for several days, and only got back this morning. How could I have cut that wire?
I hate to say this, Mr. Lane, but you're going to be the #1 suspect for this murder.
So you keep saying, Mr. Stobart.
Guilty?
Sheer fantasy. What possible...
Mr. Lane... Nico wasn't answering her phone. No surprise. Mr. Rickenbacker?
What now, Stobart?
I got some new information on the Blue Lizard case.
Go on, knock me out.
I'm pretty sure the security was sabotaged. The alarm was disabled for that one painting.
So it was an inside job. Who else is at the gallery?
There's a priest.
As my mother used to say, never trust a man of the cloth. And she should know she married one.
There's a guy called Hector Lane.
Lane? Why does that name sound familiar?
He's an art critic. I think he's connected to the exhibition.
Well, could it be him?
Well, he's rude and ugly. It's certainly possible.
So squeeze him, Stobart. Squeeze him till he squeals.
If I was going to squeeze Lane, I needed longer arms than these.
Find out who disabled the security system, then find that painting. And don't call back until you have.
Father?
Yes, my son.
Do you know anything else about El Serp?
I've already told you everything I can.
Is there anything else you can tell me about La Maledizio?
I've said everything I care to on the subject.
Take a look at this, Father.
I've already given you my thoughts about that.
Do you recognize these?
Nail clippers? I'm not sure what your point is.
The street was quiet and upmarket. Not the kind of place for an opportunist thief. The room looked like some sort of office for the gallery. I could just see the glow of the CCTV monitor in the corner. From out here, you couldn't see the stolen painting. This robbery was definitely planned. I've always been a sucker for Parisian stained glass. The waiter wasn't exactly run off his feet. Excuse me.
Monsieur?
There's just been a robbery at the gallery.
Oh, really?
You don't sound surprised.
All property is theft, monsieur, and all art is property. Therefore, all art is theft. Do you not agree?
Well, when you put it like that, it's hard not to. What do you know about Le Lézard Bleu?
It's bourgeois, vacuous, and overpriced. Just like its curator Lane. He's always in here, you know, talking art to his latest flusée.
The gallery owner, Henri, was shot dead trying to stop the robbery.
Life has no meaning the moment you lose the illusion of being eternal.
Right. Did you know him well?
Can we ever truly know another human being, monsieur? He spent little time at the café, unlike his friend, Monsieur Lane.
Did you see anybody run out of the gallery earlier?
There was a beautiful woman with a camera. She was chasing somebody.
Oh, that must have been Nico.
You know her? You surprise me.
Can you tell me anything about the man she was chasing?
I assume, monsieur, that like all of us, he is inherently unknowable.
No wonder this guy's cafe was empty. What do you know about Hector Lane?
Lane? Oh yes. He drinks here sometimes. He slid away last night without paying.
Last night? What sort of time?
After midnight, for sure. If you see him, give him this bill, and tell him to pay up next time.
The check was from last night, but Lane told me he was nowhere near the gallery. This could be the leverage I needed to get the office door code from Lane. Would you like a squirt of this?
Are you suggesting I smell, monsieur?
No, sorry. Do you recognize these?
They are nail clippers.
Thank you for your consistent indifference, monsieur.
Perhaps next time you come, I will give you a coffee. Perhaps not.
The Sacré-Cœur Basilica. The highest point in Paris. Impressive. How about it, Mr. Lane? Ready to give me the door code yet?
Certainly not. Give me a single reason why I should.
Guilty by way of nail clippers.
I've been away from Paris for several...
Take a look at this.
What of it?
It's your bill from the cafe next door.
So?
It's dated yesterday. Last night, in fact. 12:30 to be exact. You said you were out of town. You sure drank a lot of champagne last night without paying the bill. But you told me that you were away from Paris last night. I hate to say it, but that sounds like a lie to me. Tell you what, you give me the code of the door and the police need never know. A motive and proof of involvement. Not looking good, Mr. Lane.
You are a blackmailer, Stobart.
Just doing my job.
All right. You have me. The number is 6397. But I admit to none of these spurious accusations.
I had the code. The police would be here any moment, so I had to work fast. What was that number again? 642... No.
Everyone, hold it right there.
Damn it.
I am Inspector Navet of the Paris Serious Crime Squad, and I hereby declare this crime scene open. Closed. Now, nobody move, especially you on the floor. Mo, I want a total lockdown. Nobody in or out. Apart from me, of course.
I needed to get back into the gallery, but a familiar figure was guarding the door. It was Sergeant Mou. Our paths had crossed before. Sergeant Mou was blocking the entrance to the gallery. Mou was the kind of cop that got places through obedience, not intelligence. The body was still in there. I had to get back inside. Sergeant Mou, we meet again.
Aha, Madame Collard, an unexpected pleasure.
I was in the gallery at the time of the theft. Can I get back in?
I am sorry, but I am under strict orders from Inspector Navet. Nobody in, nobody out. And I must correct you, madame. It is no longer just a theft. It is a murder.
Mon Dieu! That poor man! I witnessed the crime. I've got to get back in there.
I'm sure you can make an official statement in good time.
I saw the thief. I think I can help the investigation.
I am implacable, Madame Collard.
Who is Inspector Navet?
the most promising young investigator on the force. A genius, a man blessed with almost superhuman insight.
He sounds highly perspicacious.
Madame, it is not for us to talk about the inspector's sweaty proclivities. He is about to solve his third case in as many days.
So, what's he got that the other investigators don't have?
Blood spatter. He is the world expert. He reads the entrails of the crime scene like a book.
I really need to get into the gallery and speak to Inspector Nave.
Tut tut, he is not to be disturbed. He is applying his famous scientific methods. Any moment now, the case will be cracked. I certainly hope so. I am dog-tired and want to go home.
I chased after the shooter and got a photo of him.
Inspector Nave will be delighted.
You've got to let me into the gallery to show him.
Absolutely not.
So, I cannot go in without Inspector Nave's permission?
No.
And to get Inspector Nave's permission, I need to go in.
Exactement.
Have you ever heard of Kafka, Sergeant Mu?
Madame Collard, I do not see what soccer players have to do with this.
No, he's a... Never mind. This was madness. Sergeant Mu wasn't going to let me in. Why are you so tired, Sergeant Mu?
I have been working for 3 days with no rest. Nave is a genius in his field, and he assumes that we all have his energy and vigor.
Oh, you poor man. If you'd like to go and get some sleep, I will watch the door for you.
That's very thoughtful of you. Ha! A cunning attempt to make me a deserter, madame. A gendarme never leaves his post.
Well, how about a hot drink?
Ah, that would do the trick for sure. Unfortunately, I mustn't drink on duty. My doctor specifically warned me against it after the last... incident.
Here's my press card. Do you have a statement for the paper?
Yes, madame. Stay away from the crime scene and let the police do their job. And always leave a light on when you go out at night.
That incident you mentioned, what happened exactly?
I don't want to talk about it. All I can say is it was very unfortunate. I am on duty, and I need to focus.
Thanks a lot, Sergeant Mu. You've been so helpful. Hi, Georges. I'm outside the gallery.
Thank God you're safe, Nico. I tried the phone, but I couldn't get an answer.
Inspector Mu is out here, and he's not letting me in. I managed to grab a couple of photos, but the guy got away.
Poor Henri is dead.
I know. Why kill him?
I've been trying to find out. Turns out the alarm was tampered with. Looks to me like an inside job.
So, no ordinary robbery.
And no ordinary painting. The priest claims that La Maledictio is evil. I need to get into the office and see what the CCTV has to offer. Maybe you can help me out when you get back in here.
Ronnie, I'm at the exhibition over in Montmartre. You won't believe the scoop I've got.
You're kidding me. That place is a dump. What could possibly have happened to make it exciting?
A painting's been stolen, and the gallery owner's been shot.
What? Okay, speak to anybody who saw what happened. Scope out the place. And call me as soon as you get a story. If you're quick, we can make the evening edition. Bye, Nicole.
This could be the scoop I'd been waiting years for.
Madame,
Bonjour, monsieur.
whatever it is you want, we are closed.
Then why are you standing here?
You would not understand, madame.
Try me.
Because I look at you, and I know you are like all the others.
The others?
The pretty women who shop, who gossip, who have their spa days, their almond croissant,
That bad, huh?
and the men with their grooming products and their shiny shoes and their skinny suits who come to my cafe and ask me for lattes, macchiatos, frappe.
I see your point.
Is this what we fought on the barricades for, madame? Ripped up the paving slabs, bled on the streets.
Isn't it?
No, madame, it is not. We fought for ideas, for philosophy, for freedom, equality, fraternity.
Vive la révolution.
And do you know what drove us on as we fought? What fueled the streets of Paris in that glorious spring? What made our hearts soar?
Cheap wine and free sex?
No, madame, no! It was French Café Noir that inspired us. The simple demi-tasse. The black, sweet taste of freedom.
So that's why you closed?
Yes, madame. I serve only thinkers, philosophers, revolutionaries. And you, madame, with your polite top and your pointy ears, are none of those things.
This is a cafe.
Yes, to the right people.
On any other day, I would have given this guy a straight one to the chin. But there was a chance he could help me get into the gallery. Monsieur,
Life is fleeting, madame. The sands of time are running through your fingers.
well, that may be, but
We know not what we want, and yet we are responsible for what we are.
there's been a crime.
That is terrible, madame. But you know what they say.
No, but I think you're going to tell me.
Life begins on the other side of despair. C'est vrai, no?
Well, I guess so. He was pushing me to the point of despair.
During the riots, we battled the forces of oppression.
Oh, really? That must have been terrifying.
It was, except that they made me stay behind the barricades with the other baristas. We made coffee by the liter to fuel the resistance. I've never brewed so much coffee. Of course, our brave heroes spent half their time going for a pee. But with our coffee inside them, they fought the running dogs all night long.
None of this was helping me get past Sergent Mou.
Au revoir.
Monsieur,
The road to enlightenment is a long one, madame. Perhaps you will walk that road with me. Au revoir.
here's my press card.
La liberté. Madame, you are not the person that I took you to be. You must accept my deepest, my most profound apologies.
Well, of course I accept. But why?
La liberté, the great journal of freedom. At the height of the battle, as the tear gas blew and the blood flowed, it was La Liberté which carried the voice of our revolution to the world. I know now that you are not the kind of woman who would ask me for almond croissant. You are a true daughter of France, and I am your humble servant.
Monsieur,
Madame,
could we have a little chat?
any time, madame.
Did you see anything happen at the gallery earlier?
I saw you running after a pizza delivery guy. Somebody said he killed someone.
That's true. He stole a painting and shot the gallery owner.
how close we are to death, and yet how far from ever comprehending it.
Well, right now I need to get back inside and figure out what happened.
I applaud you, madame. To seek the truth is a worthy ambition.
As a journalist, that is my duty. The waiter didn't need to see my press card again. How about some coffee?
For you, madame, of course. There is only one coffee that I can serve you. Black, strong, and in a tiny cup. One moment. Here is your coffee, madame.
Thank you, monsieur. The coffee was hot and strong. Would you make me a coffee to go?
For a fellow revolutionary? Of course, madame. One moment. Here's your takeaway coffee, madame.
Thank you, monsieur. Sergeant Moore, I brought you a coffee.
Coffee? Fantastic. Just what I need. But wait. I must not. My little problem.
I'm sure one little cup of coffee won't hurt.
I'm tempted, madame, but I cannot risk it. I am sorry.
So, this incident, it involved you, some coffee, and your little problem?
It is a tale of woe, madame.
I'm all ears, Sergeant.
Well, since you seem quite understanding, I shall elaborate.
Please do.
I was in charge of canine security for the president himself. One day, en vacances, he went for a private discussion with a lady minister. I stayed alone with his dog, but I had drunk a coffee to stay awake, and nature came to call. So I tied the dog to a tree and went for a secret pee-pee. When I came back, the dog was having a liaison dangereuse with the lady minister's terrier.
But how did they find out?
Well, 2 months later, the president's Labrador gave birth to 6 beautiful mongrels. And I was busted to sergeant just after the president's divorce came through.
You are a victim of a great injustice, Sergeant.
You think so?
But of course, you knew you must not fall asleep at your post. You were guarding the president himself.
Well, the president's dog.
Ah, it was the same thing.
Yes, I suppose.
And by drinking that coffee, you made the ultimate sacrifice for our glorious republic, your career.
Now you put it like that?
And now France is calling you again. She is saying, drink, Sergeant Moore, drink!
She is?
She is. Drink or fall asleep at your post. Which is it to be?
I suppose it is drink?
Bravo, Sergeant!
Oh dear. Oh dear. Excuse me, madame. I must use the petit gendarme's room. It has gone straight through me. Could you watch the gallery door for me?
Oh, you can count on me, Sergeant. I distracted Moo. It was now or never.
How did you get past Sergeant Moo? Well, you won't fool me so easily, madame. I shall question you later.
Nico, am I glad to see you.
So, what's the problem?
The inspector's watching me like a hawk. I'll never get in without some sort of distraction.
I'll see what I can do. Inspector Nave, I presumed. According to Moo, he was a CSI star, with a passion for blood spatter analysis. The bust was striking. If it hadn't been for the body, I would have enjoyed looking at the paintings. Georges was in pretty good shape. I hadn't seen him in a while. Nice use of color. If it hadn't been for the body, I would have enjoyed looking at the paintings. It was the alarm for the painting that had been stolen. Georges said that somebody had disabled it. Georges said that somebody had disabled it. I'd never met the gallery owner before, but he sure didn't deserve this. Father Simeon sat in the chair reciting his rosary. It was the first time I'd had the displeasure of meeting Lane. Excuse me, Father.
Father Simeon, my child.
Are you okay, Father?
It's a terrible shock, but yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Could I ask you some questions about the crime?
What kind of questions?
I'm a reporter for La Liberté.
I suppose it cannot hurt. Please ask away.
Why did you come to the gallery today, Father?
God brought me here. I saw the poster for the exhibition. I had to come.
What do you mean?
I knew there was great evil in La Maledictio. It was my duty to confront it. The painter was El Serp, the Serpent, don't you see?
Evil? So what were you planning on doing here today?
I wanted to bear witness to anything that the devil would conjure.
Well, I think it was a no-show, Father.
Really? A man is dead, Miss Collard. I'd say his work here today is done.
That wasn't going to help my story. What do you know about Henri?
An innocent victim, insofar as any of us are innocent. If he was peddling such blasphemous works as the El Serp painting, then who knows what other sins he was hiding.
Father Simeon was making me feel guilty. Priests always did that to me. What can you tell me about the painting?
Grotesque and evil.
How can a painting be evil?
By killing all who come into contact with it.
Does that mean we're next?
Laugh not at the devil's play, Miss Collard.
This is my press card. As I said, I work for La Liberté.
Good. Be sure to warn your readers that this painting is evil.
Did you see anything that might help identify the killer?
The devil takes many forms, child. I didn't get a good enough look, I'm afraid.
Anything would help.
I'm sorry, my dear. My mind was elsewhere.
Thank you for your time, Father. The priest had nothing useful to offer. The tomato sauce had splattered onto the floorboards. The tomato sauce had splattered on the floor. I spread some of this sauce around with my shoe. It looked a little bit like a blood stain, but it still wasn't right. If I was going to distract the cop, I had to get rid of that gum. Are you Hector Lane, the art critic?
Enchanté, madame. And which of the angels are you?
I'm Nico Collar, a reporter.
Ah, a fallen angel then, my favorite sort.
Have you spoken to Georges?
The American?
Yes.
He promised to clear up any misunderstandings the police might have about my presence here.
Father Simeon says that the painting is evil.
The priest is a lunatic. La Malediccio is a painting, and a painting cannot be evil.
What can you tell me about the theft?
Oh, it was truly awful. What do you want to know?
What can you tell me about Henri's involvement with the gallery?
Dear Henri, a shining diamond in the ordure that is the modern art business. He owned the gallery. What will we do without him?
Tell me about the shooting, monsieur.
Well, it all happened so fast.
Take your time. What did you see?
I can't be sure. Perhaps I could answer your questions over dinner.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I'm on a tight deadline. Did you see the thief?
I would have tackled him, but he was too quick for me.
Did you know that the alarm had been sabotaged?
No. How dreadful. I suppose that's why the alarm isn't ringing.
Here's my press card.
And there was I thinking you were too young and beautiful to be a reporter.
What can you tell me about the painting that was taken?
It was called La Malediccio, an unknown work that only recently surfaced.
Who was the artist?
A mysterious figure known only as El Serp. Some say he was a student of Picasso. He was good, but not great, and his true identity remains unknown.
Thanks for your help, Monsieur Lane. I wasn't going to get anything useful from Lane. Inspector Navet, do you have a moment?
My time is of the essence. Be quick now.
I suppose this is quite a complex case, Inspector.
It is a robbery gone bad. Nothing more, nothing less.
Surely there's a bit more to it than that.
Please abstain from baseless conjecture, madame. The victim's body paints a simple picture, more reliable than any witness statement. Consider the impact of the bullet, and note the concomitant lack of blood. A casual homicide, nothing more.
Don't you find it odd that the thief chose that one particular painting?
Life is full of odd things, madame. Fingerless gloves, white dog poo-poo, nasal hair. I prefer to concern myself with murder.
Did you see the alarm was sabotaged?
I have interrogated the crime scene, madame. I am fully aware of the disabled security. I prefer biological evidence to the merely circumstantial. Body parts, blood, important things.
Don't you think the disabled alarm is highly suspicious, though?
The forensic team will be along shortly. Voice your concerns to them. Do not bother me with this circumstantial fliff-flaff.
Why don't you check out the security camera footage?
Madame, that is not my area of expertise. It is the body which concerns me.
But the CCTV footage is evidence. It could help identify the killer.
Correction, madame. It is but an indicator. The only true evidence is bodily fluid. Unless you know something I don't, then please leave me be.
The only evidence Inspector Nave seemed to appreciate involved gore. What do you think about the American, Georges?
He is deeply suspicious.
Could you give me a statement, Inspector?
Now is not the time, madame.
Have you seen that stain on the floor by the door? What do you think it is?
I don't have time to waste discussing domestic hygiene. Please, leave me to my work.
Thanks, Inspector. I'll let you know if I remember anything else. Georges?
Yeah, Nico.
So why do you need to get into the office again?
I'm pretty sure the robbery was an inside job, and I think the proof is in the office.
So, what's stopping you?
Super cop over there.
What if I create a distraction?
You do that, and I will let you have whatever I find.
That's a deal, Georges. Somehow, I had to get the inspector away from the office door. The tomato sauce looked as close to blood as it was ever going to. No way was I going to clean that up with my bare hands. I scraped up the chewing gum with my press card, hoping the inspector wouldn't notice. Inspector!
Yes?
Have you seen the stain on the floor over there? It looks like blood.
Indeed. How very curious. I must investigate immediately, before one of these idiots steps in it. Interesting. Maybe it is time to employ the machine.
Okay, Georges, that should distract him for a while.
Nice work, Nico. I'll let you know what I find in the office. I was sure the inspector hadn't seen me slip away, but I needed to be quick, because it wouldn't take him long. It was a pretty flamboyant-looking clock. A pair of evil eyes stared from a partially covered poster. The calendar looked like a child's school project. Henri had ringed 27th May and scrawled birthday. Poor guy hadn't quite made it to his big day. I didn't want to carry the tape around. I had a feeling I wasn't going to need it. I didn't feel the need to take Henri's eraser. Carrying an ink pot around inside my pocket would have been stupid. The ink would have stained my hands for days. The switch controlled the small desk lamp. It was the paper that Nico wrote for. Nico lived for the day her story would be on the front cover. The pen could have been useful. Then again, it might have leaked all over my pocket. The lighter was corroded and grimy. It'd probably never work again. I decided to leave it. I didn't need a business card. I didn't like the idea of a pocket full of sharp pins. There was nothing else in the drawer. The folder looked interesting. This was very definitely tampering with evidence. It was the security installation note from the company that Henri had used. It was a completion of work notice from a company called Vera Security. They weren't the guys we'd recommended. Henri had gone behind our backs to choose a different security outfit. Huh. I'd never heard of Vera Security, but there was an address and phone number on the form. The statue was jaunty. Up close and personal, I could see that the fig leaf was hinged. It was a statue of Henri bearing almost everything. A strategically placed fig leaf protected his modesty. Thankfully, there was no one around to see me do this. Very interesting. It was a sturdy-looking safe. I wasn't going to open the safe without the key. I was fairly sure that even Henri wouldn't be silly enough to keep it hidden in the office. I wasn't going to open the safe without the key. Now that was a safe. No way I'd be able to pick it. The secret compartment was open. There was no need to manhandle Henri any further. The woman in the picture looked vaguely familiar. The street was quiet. A naked lady stared at me seductively. The sofa had clearly taken some punishment over the years. It was a battered sofa. In the trash can, I found a crumpled letter from Henri's credit card company demanding immediate payment. It listed extravagant purchases from a variety of ladies' fashion stores. The address indicated that Henri lived in the chic and expensive 16th arrondissement of Paris. I decided to put the letter back. Henri's financial problems weren't my business, but now I knew where he lived. The frame containing pressed flowers. Henri sure liked his clutter. I didn't imagine Henri as a musician. Henri sure had his quirks. If Henri was a guitarist, then I'd underestimated him. It was an antiquated CCTV system. The CCTV system was ancient. It took individual shots and recorded them to tape. It looked like I needed to enter a passcode to view the recording. I tried the door. I needed to find a 4-digit number. The telephone was an antique rotary model. The handset looked greasy. The phone was vintage. Henri had a model of a VW camper van painted in hippie colors. The engine capacity was displayed on the back, 1600 cc. The trinkets, the junk, the instruments. Henri was kind of a hippie at heart. Henri hadn't set the model van's engine size as the passcode. woman in the picture looked vaguely familiar. Henri's notice board was covered with all kinds of junk. It didn't look like there was anything important on the board. Henri had ringed 27th May and scrawled birthday. Henri had ringed 27th May and scrawled birthday. Henri had ringed 27th May and scrawled birthday. Bingo. I rewound the tape to before the robbery. This was the first interesting frame. It was Henri studying La Malédiction. He couldn't have had any idea what was about to happen. That was the earliest shot with anything interesting on it. Was Henri studying that picture, or did he look worried? There was definitely more to this robbery than I first thought. The image was a little fuzzy, but in the center of the painting was what looked like a snake eating its own tail. I thought about what the priest said. There was definitely something unsettling about the picture. Nico and I were taking a look at La Malédiction just before the robbery. Funny, the painting didn't strike me as remarkable at the time, just odd. It seemed that whenever Nico stepped back into my life, so did trouble. Whatever was going on around here, I hoped it meant I could spend more time with Nico. There I was, looking at the exhibition. There I was, looking at the exhibition. The most striking aspect of the painting was a snake eating its own tail. The most striking aspect of the painting was a snake eating its own tail. A good view of La Malédiction. I could kind of see why Father Simeon thought it was evil. There was a certain presence about it. The most striking aspect of the painting was a snake eating its own tail. The killer caught in the act. There was nothing really distinctive about him. The CCTV had caught the killer in the act of lifting La Malédiction from the wall. He knew exactly which painting to take. He knew exactly which painting to take. The most striking aspect of the moment it all went horribly wrong. There was some writing on the front of his helmet, but I couldn't quite make it out. The most striking Why hadn't Henri backed down when the thief pulled the gun? If that was me, I'd have done whatever the guy wanted. The writing was just a blur. The killer making his getaway. A logo on the front of his helmet read Waterloo Motors. That could be useful. A logo on the alarm should have sounded when the killer took the painting, but it had been sabotaged. I wondered who could have done that. Maybe Lane, or even Henri himself. Or the painting was gone. The alarm should have sounded. There I was, taking a look at the alarm box. Hopefully I didn't look too suspicious. That was me fiddling with the alarm. The alarm should have sounded when the killer took the painting. I hadn't thought about that when I was taking a look at the camera. Not my best angle. Not my best angle. The alarm should have sounded when the... That was the last shot. I'd probably learned everything I could from the CCTV. That was the...
Monsieur, sir, You have snuck in here, and now you are tampering with my evidence.
I wasn't tampering with anything. I was just looking for clues.
That is my job, Monsieur...
Stobart. George Stobart. Paris Mutual. We insured the exhibition.
Oh, really? So, you have plenty to gain from the robbery.
Well, no. We have plenty to lose from the robbery.
Don't patronize me, monsieur. Only a fool wouldn't know how insurance works.
Yeah. No flies on you, Inspector.
Exactly. I have to get up very early in the morning, which means I can be sure to catch the worm.
So I see.
May I remind you, monsieur, that a serious crime has been committed. I am going to have to ask you to return to the gallery.
Of course. But I do need to ask you a few questions.
D'accord. But remember, anything you say can be used against you, Monsieur Stobart.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind. Here, smell this.
If you think you can bribe me with expensive parfum de toilette, monsieur, you are mistaken.
Do you know anything about a company called Vera Security?
No, I have never heard of them. Now, I must get on with my investigation.
It's very likely that the security camera holds a clue to the killer's identity.
Monsieur, I am a professional, and you are an amateur. So, leave the investigating to me, huh, pal? Monsieur, you are American, no?
Yeah, California born and bred.
Of course. I think perhaps you are wanting to be like that Starsky and Butch, monsieur. No? Rolling around on top of fast cars with beautiful ladies, firing your gun.
Interesting idea, Inspector, but not really my style.
Indeed. Well, let me tell you something, monsieur. You are my prime suspect. You may go now, but I will need to speak with you again.
I had some valuable leads, but before following up on them, I had important business to attend to. Hey, Nico, you want to grab a quick cup of coffee?
Sure.
I am pleased to announce that I have finished my preliminary investigation. This is now an official crime scene, and you must all go. I shall be questioning all of you again in the coming days. Nobody is to leave the country, particularly you, Monsieur Stobart. Monsieur Lane will stay behind to help secure the premises. Mo?
Yes, Inspector.
Let them out.
Right away, sir.
Two coffees, please.
Nice work in there, Nico. Whatever you did, it worked.
I just made a tiny distraction, and Nave bought it.
I think Nave would buy anything if it had blood on it. You know, this whole setup, the theft, the murder, it just doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
Well, the priest thinks La Malediccio is evil.
Charles, she's just crazy.
Yeah, you're probably right. But there's something strange going on. The CCTV picked up an image of the thief. His helmet had the words Waterloo Motors written across it.
Interesting. I think I got a couple of good shots of him too, but I need to take a better look at them at home.
Great. Let me know what you find. Like I said, I think it was an inside job.
Go on.
Someone disabled the alarm, but on just one painting.
Let me guess. La Maledictio.
Exactly. And I aim to find out who did it. I found the address of the security company Henri employed. It was not the one that I recommended.
Good luck with your investigations. Well, I guess I should go. This story won't write itself. And Georges?
Yeah?
It's good to see you again.
Great to see you too, Nico. I watched her walk away. The sound of traffic, the sun shining, a crime to solve, and Nico back in my life.